Yeah, this is Dave coming at you. I haven't done a video in a little bit. We've been working pretty hard, and it's hard to get a good video, like an informational video, when we actually have the people here working with all the loud equipment. But anyways, I just want to do a video to just show you kind of where we're at. We got a lot of the backfill done. I brought in a lot of fill sand. Since this is clay, I didn't want to put the clay right up against the house, so obviously the pea gravel is down on the drain tile down there because that's code. But I also brought in all of this and filled it up pretty much to the top of the wall. We got this cleaner fill sand. It's a lot more money. I'd say that for the whole project, I probably paid at least $1,500 extra to bring that in, but it's just worth it because you look at all the standing water down there, even right now, and we haven't gotten any rain here in probably 6-7 days. And it's been sunny every day, so that just kind of goes to show you that there's always going to be water down there. There's nothing you can do about it. And you can see that we've put a lot of pea gravel in there. That pea gravel is actually going to just go right to the flush with that footing, which will be flush with these pads. And on a previous video, then we'll put the, like I told you, we'll put some rigid foam over the footing to the walls, and then concrete from there, rebar and all that stuff, and the heated flooring, tubing and stuff. But anyways, since I made the last video, my son and I, we've been working for about 3.5 days on this mudsill. It was pretty tricky. I'll kind of show you what we did, give people a few pointers on it. The sun's out, of course, so hopefully doesn't blind us, but here's the print. And right here to here is where we first started, because this right here to back here, and then the same measurement here, from here to here, is 35 feet 1 inch. 35 feet 1 inches. So we established this part first. We made sure that this measurement to here on each side was equal. We measured out from here to here 35.1, and then we diagonally measured to square that portion. The problem with that, that's kind of what you want to start, because there's nowhere else on this whole entire house that's kind of a perfect square with measurements. But you could have a perfectly square when you do that, but then it's turned either slightly this way or slightly this way, and you just kind of don't know. So what I ended up doing was, this wall all the way to here is straight. So we kept that in mind, so we ran a string to here, to that corner. That way, when we squared that, that probably, most likely, would have the square at the right position, turning this way or this way. So then we just worked our way around, double checking measurements, and we did the 3-4-5 method on this wall. It actually ended up being the 12, 16, measure diagonally 20. And then once we started putting it together, you know, we get over here, this is a 26 wall. 26 wall. This is an equal measurement, so that's a square too. So we squared that, perfect. Made sure that this measurement's good. And these angled wall, they kind of just worked out. They actually did work out to the exact measurement on the print. Because one thing I can tell you, when you're setting the mudsill, the more accurate you get the mudsill, the job just goes easy from the beginning. And the concrete is rough in nature, so they were off about 1 inch, which isn't too bad. So you got to look at the concrete as like a rough template that you have to put the next puzzle piece on pretty much perfect. So let me just walk around and show. This was, believe it or not, doing these windows with the, and then since these are 45, these cuts right here are 22.5, and from this string out to here, right on the prints, 1'8". So all I did was have to we had a string going through this long wall over here, right here, that goes all the way through to the end. Strung that from here to here. We got the 3 feet perfect on that one, 3 feet. Then we put another string, and then off of really that string, we just measured the 1'8". Put a mark here, right on the concrete. Same thing on this side, 1'8" from the string, right there. And then we just laid these. Well, the print said 2'6" from here to the short end of this. So once I had that cut, I just laid this one on top of this, put this together, used a square, and angled this board on top of this board until it was a 45-degree angle, and then that's your cut. And then it all ended up perfectly on the line here, which this is the square point on that 35-1 we talked about earlier, all the way over to that point, and opposite the other way, this way, to the 35 straight across. And so you can see, I'll lift my phone up a little bit. But we got this so precise, literally within a 1/16 of an inch is the outside measurements on this pressure treated mud sill in the physical world to this drawing. We have it to a 1/16. What that does is it means that when I go to set my bond board is that we're using TGI joist, so it's going to be 1.25 inches. And we're going to actually have the, this right here. The reason why this is sticking out 3 or 4 inches, I had them simply bump this wall out, this 10-inch wall out, because that 35-1 on the print is where my cement porch is going. Right here. We got shade and everything. I hope this video isn't going to turn out horrible, but 35-1, we had them bump this out and then bump this wall the 3 feet out. So my porch is going to be 2 feet further than this 3-foot wall out, and then 2 feet to the right of this 3-foot wall. So I had them bump that out right here. That means that that's why we used a 2x6 mud sill here instead of a 2x8, because if you use a 2x8, then you'll be sticking way past inside your basement, and there's no reason to have that cantilevered wood because it doesn't add any support anyway. So I just switched this stuff to 2x6 in this porch area. So you can see 2x8. Here's that wall that I talked about bumped out. We'll still have full bearing, you know, that is required. I think it's like 3 inches of bearing with the joist, and we'll have at least 3.5, 4 inches anyways. And so all the way through here. So anyways, what I was going to say was we have this so accurate to where when we go to actually frame and start putting the bond, I'm not going to have my sheeting come past this. We're actually going to have 1/2 inch sheeting and then 1.25 inches. So 1.25 inch bond. So then your joist will hit to the inside of the bond. So we're basically just going to chalk in around this whole perimeter of the entire house 1.75 inches, which is 1.25 inch bond plus 1/2 inch plywood combined. That way, I don't like putting plywood hanging over it, because plywood, if it's exposed, the end's exposed, whether it's pressure treated or not, over time it's going to wick moisture up through the bottom. But one of the main reasons why I did it, well, let's get over to where the wall goes flush. All of this is where you see the tar. Any part of this wall that's exposed, like in here, because the porch ends right here, we're doing cultured stone all the way from finished grade up to my bottom of my windowsill. So we want to have it to where this stays flush for the cultured stone. So the plywood's going to rest right on top of this, which is nice because then you don't have any wicking issues where, because I've seen it a lot. A lot of people hang over their plywood over the exterior of the home. Plus it just makes it stronger. Your whole bearing, all that, the weight of that plywood, which isn't much when you consider it's on 2x6 walls and, you know, everything's supported, but it makes it to where that plywood is basically still resting on the concrete wall of your house. And to me, it just makes it better. But yeah, you can see we're proud of it because it took us a long time. And yeah, we did have a lot of, you know, you measure something and you think it's going to be good and it's 1.5 inches off. And, you know, anyone that's laid things out at this level of complexity, where it's this many turns and 45s, they know what I'm talking about. And then sometimes you measure something and you're not sure about it, and sure enough, it ends up dead nuts, which this 35-1 ending up like, I can't remember the measurement, it was like 55 feet 9 inches exact, right to it. And then 36.7 is the measurement this way. So once we hit that, I mean, that helped out a lot. But anyways, I've had my nephews work for me, and they're 13 years old, and I told you what, I had them working in here hard because we've been digging out all this clay to get it down a little bit below the footing so we can spread the pea gravel out flush. And you know, we got a little bit of it done, and we still have to do all of that, and it's a lot of work. Even though it's nice and smooth to dig and you can use transfer shovels, it's still heavy work. And when this sun comes up above us like it is now, you might as well, you say you're in a microwave. It's hot in here, and all that heat reflects off those walls. And The lumber yard doesn't have the weeping tile in right now, and I really wish they would. I'm about ready just to go to a different supplier to get that, so we can get that in. Because once we get that drain tile around the inside here, we can really start covering it up with pea gravel. We still need to get it inspected, but we could at least get the pipe in and maybe bring the pea gravel up to the pipe so the pipe can still be seen by the inspector. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to give you an update. We've been working pretty hard on this. And the next step, see, I got a lumber delivery, and they dropped my steel beams way early. So all that lumber is actually to build the framing for some of these beams that literally don't sit in any pockets. I think I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 beams. And I only have 2 beams that pocket into this concrete. And only one of them pockets, or actually 2 of them pocket in on each side. And then a third beam only has this one pocket right here, and then it comes out to nothing. So I'm going to build 3 stud walls that stand up, and then I'm going to brace them from mudsill to mudsill, and then put back bracing so you don't get the domino effect of them falling this way when the weight, because those beams are 18 pounds per foot, and one of those beams is 35 feet. So you're talking, I'm just guessing, but around 600 pounds. So that's a lot of weight, and we don't want anybody to be standing under that stuff and something collapses. So we're going to make sure, I'll do another video once we have, where we're a little bit further in doing that, to just show you what we did. I'll make sure I do a video that shows the bracing up, and then we'll just keep taking it from there. But anyways, yeah, it's a nice day today too, a nice little breeze, and high of about 75. So we're taking the day off today though. We worked hard this week. Anyways, this is Dave coming at you from Grand Blanc, signing off.